Hey everybody, today's guest is Mosey, a good friend of ours and fellow content creator over on Mixer. He was also a part of the BxP League that we ran for this past season and the BxP League playoff tournament that occurred the day before we recorded this podcast. So you're going to hear a bit about that, a bit about Destiny, a bit about COD Zombies even, and you're also going to hear Bonsai being a baby. And a bit of disconnect because we had to deal with him. We had to just succumb to his wishes and let him roam around and do his thing. So you'll be hearing a bit of that as well. But I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome to the BxPerience.
I'm going to use the Destiny load screen as light. As a little light source.
Hey, whoa, that's like a huge difference. What do you mean? It's so white.
That's wild. Looks like one of those, I don't know, those little lights you put in front of you.
Yeah. Someone was mentioning that about how it goes from Shadow Keep, which is all dark red, and then all of a sudden
to the white screen.
Yeah, that's what you saw.
White.
That's when it was dark and it just flashed bright.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That menu music, though, they gotta do something about that. It's just so loud.
We usually, when we start up, I always forget. But I have to hit the home button so that it doesn't make any noise.
Yeah, if you hit the home button on your Xbox, it stops the sound from Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I used to do whenever I was doing it on Xbox. I've been playing a lot of PC Destiny until the League came out.
Yeah. Well, I think the next league's gonna have a PC as well, so.
Oh, I'm so excited because Rat Trap said he'd definitely do it if there's a PC league.
Mm-hmm. We had lots of people asking about PC.
I think the most common question about the league was, what about PC? So, fingers crossed.
Now that we've kind of got the base down, it shouldn't be that bad to run another one alongside it at the same time. But I think that was going to be a little bit too much to take on at once.
Yeah, as our first.
Yeah, the first endeavor. Yeah. It was a lot, but I think it was just a lot of pre-planning, and then now that we kind of have the groundwork, it really shouldn't be that bad to run more of them.
Yeah.
Just gotta change up some stuff. I think so too, for the most part. I think it's really just figuring out some of the rules.
Yeah, so that was the first thing I wanted to ask was, now that the league has come to a close, and the tournament's done for Division 2, what are your overall thoughts on how everything went?
Well, it went super smooth. I was expecting there to be scheduling issues or issues with setting up each match every week or whatnot, how to record it and keep track of all the stats. But after every game, just posting it in the Discord and then having y'all put it in that little spreadsheet, it went super easy. Easy to keep track of all the stats and whatnot. And I don't know. It just worked out great, in my opinion. Oh, my mic fell.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pete and I were actually talking about that at breakfast because I was saying it's an interesting dynamic between the two of us because Pete is 100% better at knowing what's going on in the game, knowing stats on weapons and builds, knowing more about shoutcasting and map callouts for stuff like that. Whereas I'm a lot better at the organization and back end. So if one of us was to run it by ourselves, it would not have gone the way it did. Not even close.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing too is just another person having a perspective on what's going on will pick up things that the other person misses.
Yep.
So even while we're going through the organization and stuff, if one of us picks up, hey, we forgot, what if this happens? What are we going to do? What if we need to make sure that this happens? How can we make that work? And honestly, Google Drive has been the best thing.
We've been utilizing Google Drive mad this year.
Yeah.
Power's low.
Especially because with the with this PC that we have on now, we set it up so that there's a Google backup and sync folder, which allows us to have a folder on our desktop that's synced with the other desktop. So we can literally just drag and drop things within.
Like, oh, you want this
Windows
file?
Explorer.
Here, 1 second. And like
move it over.
drag it from one PC, drop it in the folder, and then like pull it out and work on it, and then drop it back. It's been pretty bomb. Technology's crazy.
Well, even what we also found out with OBS, like the swap from the source as soon as you edit it is instant. So technically, you could have OBS going on that PC, and I could work on one of the source files that's referenced in OBS for a graphic in our shared folder, save it, and as soon as I save it, it will change in OBS.
It's kind of wild. I don't know if it does that when you're live or not. I'm assuming it would.
I'm assuming it would. Pretty cool.
Yeah, interesting fact. Whenever we were playing in Destiny 1, I had a little competitive team. And one of the first tournaments we did, it was like Critical Minds tournament, but they were setting it up through a Google Drive. And whenever I was signing up my team, I like broke the site, and it took down everyone's like registration. It took down everyone's standings in the previous tournaments. And I had to like DM, I forgot his name. It's like it was one of the people that were like running all the tournaments in D1.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was this whole ordeal of trying to get it back up after I crashed the site.
That's crazy.
That's how he knew me during the tournament, was the guy that messed everything up.
Oh my goodness.
We ended up playing in, we actually played in a Destiny 1 league way back when. It was a 3v3 skirmish league. And at that point, there were no private matches. So you were literally like trying to match each other. Like
you had to like put the host as whoever was like closest, and then keep pressing it at the same time. And
I keep trying to match.
Eval 3-6. I'm searching 6-6. Let's go.
yeah.
It's an interesting experience, and that was. Oh, we ended up meeting somebody who had organized it.
Afraid Duchess.
Yeah, who later ended up knowing Follow plays and being involved in his community and his clinics and stuff, and it was crazy.
I think we met Keen through there, didn't we?
Possibly.
Koala, maybe?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But yeah.
We played against Pervy.
Really?
In that league.
Yeah, that's right. His name was different though.
It was Pervy Sage, or Dr. Pervy Sage. I don't know. And it had the L's.
The L's.
But, yeah, but
such a small world. Like now, Pervy lives out near us, and we had a chance to like go meet him shortly after he moved here and have some lunch with him and his girlfriend or
his fiance
or It was cool. It was nice. It was good.
Wow.
This is a small community.
Yeah, like whenever I was playing, probably the biggest name that we played against was Dr. Lupo's team. It was like Dr. Ninja Ram.
Yeah.
Well,
that would have been fun.
Noel and Ramblin', and that was interesting.
I bet.
Yeah.
I remember when we played. I remember playing Dr. Lupo. He was doing a secret run actually.
Yeah.
I think it was a double.
It was a double. We got it.
Double carry.
We I'm pretty sure we got it to like 3-3 or like 3-2 or something. It was close. It was a close match, and we had a chance of winning. But then we realized he was doing a secret run, and we're like, okay, we'll probably end up giving it, but we're gonna get to 4 first. But then his carry clutched it so hard.
God.
Like
it
he
was
just
crazy.
destroyed us. I was like, oh shit, okay, you earned that. That's crazy.
It's pretty ballin'.
Oh my god.
It was on what's that map with the doors and on Mars?
Black Shield, yeah.
It was on Black Shield. I remember he destroyed us from jump up. He was on top of that like half circular thing. Yep. I don't remember what he did, but
so speaking of trials, what do you think about Trials coming back is huge. But what do you think about the maps that are coming back and all of that?
I mean, I'm excited. Each of those maps kind of like holds a place for me because back when I started content creation, it was just Trials stuff.
Yep.
So like each one of those maps, they're in like all of my old montages and stuff, and it just like brings back this feeling that gets me like super excited. But I'm glad with the map choice.
Cauldron and Anomaly are actually two of my top 3 maps. And the only one that I kind of wish they brought back that they didn't is Asylum. I mean, to be honest, they've brought back a good amount of maps already. Yeah. And most of the Destiny 1 maps are really, really good. But if they were going to bring back 3 more, for me, it would be Asylum, Anomaly, and Cauldron. Instead of Exodus. Exodus is an alright map, though. I personally don't like it very much because it's a lot of like really long, like narrow lanes that you have to push through.
I think, to be fair, though, I really did like the design of that map, except the meta of D1 made parts of that map annoying.
That's fair.
And I think that with D2 it might be a little different.
Yeah,
it's going to play a little differently. But think of that tunnel thing that everyone used to go into. I'm just throwing an arc whip down there now.
Oh no!
Stormlock for life. Well, they're changing. So they actually are changing a lot of subclass stuff that we don't know about yet. So I mean, they did mention that they were going to be making changes to Stormcaller, Top Tree Stormcaller, which I've been using. So I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm sure whatever changes they make are going to be fairly balanced. They actually surprisingly haven't really nerfed anything to the ground in the last little while. I feel like all or most of the changes that they made have been fairly balanced. So
we'll see. I think the only thing I'm unsure of how it's going to play is the last word nerf.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting, and I think it's mainly because it's just so much better on PC. Like, it's not unusable on console. It's still very good.
So,
but PC, you can even tell just by watching people use it. Like, it looks so much easier to use.
So it might get to a point where on console it's not really something that people are using very often because of the changes. I don't know, though. We'll have to wait and see. I've never really used last words, so
yeah.
It's going to offer a lot of change to play style, in my opinion, which is needed, I guess. Just more variety of how people play, make it more interesting.
So I guess this leads into another question. What do you think about the changes they're making to legendaries, where you're not going to be able to infuse them later on?
That's going to be interesting. I mean, I, for one, usually pick a legendary that I'm comfortable with, and I just keep it through me. I keep it with me throughout the whole leveling process. So it's definitely going to allow us to not get so burnt out as fast because we're playing with so many different weapons.
Yep.
I think the average player base is going to be more knowledgeable with different weapons because they're having to use different ones. So it's going to probably increase the average level or the average skill that people are because they just have more weapon knowledge. But
it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I have so many weapons that I keep in my vault just in case they're god rolls, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a couple weapons that I really like, some legendaries, some exotics, and I tend to use those in PvP. And why would I stray from that? Because they get the job done and they're fun to use, and I have enough of them that it keeps things fairly fresh. But overall, I think it's going to be a good thing. I think it's going to force me and other people to start to use some different legendaries that they haven't really used, find some new weapons that they fall in love with that they might not have really given a chance. And back in D1, if you think about it, they already did this in D1. You couldn't bring your Fatebringer and stuff forward. It only leveled up to a certain thing, and you couldn't infuse it, and that was that, right?
You had to
time, right? Yeah,
exotic.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be okay. I think they're going a little bit back towards their Destiny 1 roots and things that made people fall in love with the game. And I think it's going to be a good thing.
I think the one thing that they're missing, though, is please save my vault space by allowing me to put certain roles in collections.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If I have a really good roll of a hand cannon that I want to keep for longer than 15 months, like that, 9 to 15 months is pretty long, right? Yeah. I was breaking down, it's 3 to 5 seasons. So that's basically one whole content drop, average about a year. But what if I want to use that 2 years from now and just pull it out as this old gun to use? Let me put my top 2 rolls in collection so I can pull those back out whenever I want to.
Sorry.
Yeah.
we're just gonna let the dog.
You know what? I think
continue to
Bonsai's all
be
he's.
a
I think
part
he's
of
all
it.
worked up because yesterday we had the league tournament thing, and he spent a lot of yesterday pretty much in his crate, like with Kongs or treats or whatever, so that we could kind of just focus on the tournament. So I think today he's just like,
Well, it's
not
like,
again.
every time we do a podcast too, he's like napping before we start, and then as soon as we start, he's like, "Oh, what's going on? I want to be involved."
Oh, every time we
talking.
start stream, the first thing he does is come in here, stand in between us by the mic, and start making noise. So he's like totally content when we're not streaming, and the second you sit down and start talking in front of the computer, he's like, "Oh,
I know what's going on."
what are you doing
It's
now?"
like he just knows.
Right?
Yeah.
Must steal the show. Right?
So, I guess more going back to this league and tournament thing. Like, how was yesterday? Even though you missed the first game.
Yesterday was rough. I had a rough morning, but after we all got situated and whatnot, it was honestly a lot of fun. I very much so enjoyed the match where we got knocked out of, but like during those 3 matches, you could see everything that we learned each week. I actually kept like a notebook, and every single time we had a match during the league season, I would like write down our KDs, our damage done, what we could work on, and what we improved on. And it was interesting because in that last match in the tournament, like every single point that we touched where we were lacking, you could see us improving. Even
That's
during
really
the match
cool.
itself, we were like adapting to the situations at hand, and you could really see a difference between like the start of the league and then where we're at now. So I really enjoyed it.
The one thing that I noticed when you joined the fire team versus when they had a sub at the beginning was, and I couldn't entirely hear your comms, but were you kind of like the fire team leader? Like kind of,
Yeah, I would say so.
kind of like shouting out like where people, like where to push or like what to do. A little
Yeah,
bit.
100% actually.
Yeah.
I would
That'd
Because-
be the shot caller.
Yeah, because when I just noticed when you were playing versus when they had a sub in there that they probably weren't super familiar with, it just seemed like your team flowed that much better, and like you guys were rotating and making pushes and like using the
Disengaging.
map
That's the
and
biggest thing. Like
disengaging.
that, and that's we
whereas,
were
like,
talking about that.
Yeah, the first match we watched on Wormhaven, when you weren't there. They kind of just like collapsed and sat in spawn, and like nobody really was making a call on where to go. And I think that was really like the biggest weakness because the other team just like pushed you, your team basically into a wall, and like there was nothing they could do. But
I also noticed even just an improvement in adapting against Cressy sniping, because I like he was hitting his shots, like he was warmed up, he was hitting the snipes, but then I watched, especially with Baron, because we were watching his view, I watched him peak less often, and there was more like team shots like near the end compared to the beginning, and using the bygones to stagger as opposed to getting shot because you're using a bygones. So I saw that kind of evolve.
we saw lots of teams, more specifically in Division 2, like really grow and really start to make changes and use different weapons, and rotate more and have better call outs. There were people that we saw using like double primary at the beginning that finally started to use like special weapons and some different loadouts and stuff, which was kind of exciting to see. With especially with Division 2, that's what we wanted. We wanted to provide a space for people who might not be super confident in PvP, to like jump in with their friends and have an opportunity to play in that space without worrying about like toxicity or anything, right? Like just having a safe space to do that and try to like play around and learn. And I feel like that really was something that was achieved, which is really cool.
I think so, 100%.
Yeah, because if you like look at the loadout of Aaron, when he started the first match of the league, he was using, I think, a Misfit and a Borealis in a tournament setting. And then by the end, he was using a Bygones with like high impact rounds, like really stagger snipers, and then a Mindbender's Ambition to like get those close corner shots. And he was actually using his shotgun, because in the first half this season he didn't use his special at all. We would focus on primary shots and team shotting. And then by the end, like, he was adapting in every situation with his loadout.
Yeah,
which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that was
it is really
cool.
neat.
I had a question because did you hear about what happened when we were trying to watch Baron stream for the first game? Okay,
well, I saw in the chat. I saw you all talking in chat about like wanting him to go full screen. I don't know like what happened where he wasn't.
He had his stream set up, so like basically his camera was in the bottom left, right?
Yeah.
And his gameplay was like the top left third.
It's
the
like
top left.
the bottom of his gameplay only went to the top of his camera. So there's this, all the rest was black, and so it was like gameplay was this big, his camera was this big over this big of a screen. Wow.
So we were like, drag the source bigger, and like just drag it, right? And then, but it was weird because I saw him open up the like Xbox companion app or something.
Yeah, so this is what I wanted to ask was because you helped Baron set his thing up. How is it set up? Because it almost looked like he was streaming his Xbox to Windows 10.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Okay, so that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, he was doing what I was doing. Because I don't know how to work in Elgato. Now I do after my PC broke. But what we would do is stream from the Xbox to the Xbox companion app to like Windows 10.
Yeah.
And then we would have that as a video source in OBS or a screen capture.
Yeah.
So it would record that screen over his face cam and the
Got
audio.
it.
Got you. And then is he still playing on his Xbox?
He
like
is.
So there's no like input lag or anything?
No, because he has multiple monitors, so he won't be looking at his screen that's capturing and whatnot.
Yeah. Cool.
That kind of makes sense too, because when he went to fix it, he literally like got up out of his chair and disappeared off camera to like do some stuff, and then got back into his chair, and I was like,
what is he doing?
And the camera's behind him too.
It's kind of a cool view, actually.
It is kind of cool. Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting view because like most people don't have that, so you can kind of see like his setup and like see.
But that's like our setup. It's like our setup.
Yeah, it's like our setup cam. It's kind of neat. I mean,
that's
even
his main thing he wanted. Was
even
like
seeing,
a review of the setup that we built.
Oh yeah. Okay, even seeing just the way that like from the first game we watched you guys play, he was like sitting on the couch with his feet up playing, to seeing him sit in an office chair playing in front of like a monitor. I was like, this is progress. This is really different.
Yeah, he definitely changed his play style, because like I would make fun of him, but that was like him. He was always really back, just playing like laying down recline. And then eventually halfway through, he was like, I got to sit up. Like, I got to be next to my monitor. I got to focus. It was awesome.
100%. It was kind of interesting, too, because we were watching Cressy play, and I was noticing that his eyes would move. Like, I could very noticeably see his eyes move to check the radar. And I'm like, how big of a screen is he on? Because it looks like he's playing on like a 40-inch TV or something, which could be. Because like Oopdots used to play on a 50-inch on that massive like
with his recliner chair.
Yeah.
He just got rid of that. I don't know if you saw the tweet.
That's what reminded me.
Speaking of our boy Oopdots, he just returned to streaming. He used to stream a lot of trials. He took a big hiatus. And is back. So if you guys haven't checked out Oopdots, he is at twitch.tv/Oopdots. And he's super hype.
OOPDOTS.
Just gonna throw that little shout out in there for him. Because he's super bomb.
Yeah. I did also want to make sure that I asked, how did you come up with Mosey?
Oh, it's really a stupid story. But back whenever back whenever I got my first gaming console that wasn't like a GameCube or a Wii or whatever, I was sitting in my room with my brother, and I was asking him like, hey, what should I make like the Xbox account be? Because it was like my Xbox, but I knew I'd be playing with him a lot. And he was like, well, I don't know. Let's like think for a bit. And we were sitting with my grandfather one night watching the Speed Network on TV. Someone was like drag racing, and like the announcer went up to the car and he was like, hello, like, what's your name? And the dude was like, hello, my name is Mosey Jr. And just the way he said it was like super funny. So I decided, all right, let's make our name Mosey. And then awesome. So that's how it. Yeah, that's how we got Mosey.
It's better than mine, so that's why I like
What
asking
was yours?
people. Well, it used to be Filipino, which
Really?
I thought was really clever, because I'm Filipino and my name's Pete. But then no one understood it, and they called me Philip and Philip Peter, and asked if I was from Philly.
Philly Pete.
Are you from Philadelphia? I'm like,
Oh,
this is terrible. So then I just changed it to Matchers. That's why it's Petron.
Yeah, all about that brand consistency.
Yeah.
I don't know, we might have to drop the Trons.
I don't know. Nowadays, Tron seems to be a very ambiguous term
That's fair.
for something techie.
That's fair.
Yeah.
yeah.
I can't be ex-babe. That's definitely taken, so
Yeah. Babe X.
that's probably
No, that was
taken
already
too.
taken on Facebook. We learned that one real quick.
Jeez Louise, guys. I had posted a Patreon post on Facebook and linked our Patreon, BxP, and it linked to some other Patreon that was not safe for work. That was not our Patreon.
It was
And
Babe X.
I was like, how did you get this from my link? Like, what do you mean?
That's on Facebook. So
It's on
your family
Facebook. Like, my
sees it.
family's there. I'm like, shit.
Oh my god, this is what Jess is doing nowadays?
So I, like,
Terrible.
deleted that real quick. Yeah. Yep. But I actually have no idea. Like, the link was right, but it linked to the wrong. You know how they put a little link preview of
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
like on tweets and in posts? The link itself was correct, but the link preview was something else. And I'm like, I don't understand how you mess that. Like, how does that mess up?
I don't know.
I've never
That's
seen
Facebook
anything
for
like that before. It is Facebook. Don't really use Facebook. We've been trying to grow our Facebook page for streaming, and I'm not even sure how you're supposed to grow on Facebook, because you have to send invites to people. Like, people aren't looking for gaming pages on Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
so apart from people you know, how are you really going to get people to follow your Facebook page? I don't understand.
know.
I don't understand Facebook streaming. I don't know. That whole thing is foreign to me.
I tried it for like a week, and
How did it go for you?
Like you said, you have to. Well, it didn't go. Like you have to. Like you said, you have to invite people, and I just like wasn't gonna send random invites to people. Like
Yeah.
I don't really
Yeah.
know how it worked to where they would find me, so I just went to. I think I went to Mixer after that.
Yeah.
Cool.
We were restreaming for a little bit there, and it was an interesting experience. Restreaming is neat because there are a lot of ways that your communities can be kind of fluid between different platforms. The Restream bot actually will relay the messages. So, like, people on Twitch in the Twitch chat will see, like, messages from Mixer and, like, vice versa. But it still kind of felt like a little disconnected, especially because it was like we were starting over on Twitch. Like, we used to stream on Twitch, right? And then we came to Mixer exclusively, and then we tried to do both at the same time. But, like, at this point, our base community's on Mixer. If they have the opportunity to watch us on Mixer, they're probably not going to watch us on Twitch. So you're at, like, one viewer on Twitch, and, like, good luck, basically, right now.
Yeah.
Like, Twitch is so saturated as a platform anyways. So we've swapped to no restreaming. We do one day on Twitch right now, on Tuesdays, and we're finding that works a lot better because, like, if people from Mixer want to watch us on Tuesdays, they'll come to Twitch, which boosts our numbers a little bit, and then we get some new people come in, and, like, over time it should grow. And then if the people that are from Twitch want to watch us every other day of the week, then they'll probably come to Mixer and watch us on Mixer. So I'm kind of hoping that it kind of, like, brings people from both platforms to either side,
Yeah.
and kind of, like, helps us grow everywhere and helps, like, Mixer grow as a whole as well. That's a goal as well, for sure.
100%.
Trying to get Twitch peeps to come over to Mixer. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Just come to the dark side. It's fine. I swear.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. Oh, never mind. That might be NDA. I better not say that. Anyways, you gotta catch myself sometimes. I was just thinking. It's
supposed to be free flowing. You're supposed to say whatever you want.
Yeah, well,
Within
legally
reason.
binding contracts are a different thing. I was just thinking. Am I remembering correctly? You were in a Cod League as well.
Oh,
I
yes.
am, yes.
Yeah, how's that going?
It's going amazing, actually. I think I'm number 2. Yeah, we're number 2 in the tournament
Nice.
or the league.
It's a
It's me
2v2
and
league,
Naked
right?
Panda.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
How
awesome.
this is kind of like a personal question. How is like the organization in that how is like that flowing compared to like the Destiny one?
Since it's just one person running it, you can tell it's taking a toll, so it's
it's a
a
lot
little
to
bit
take
more
on.
disorganized. But they are very similar to how like the standings and the matches go.
Cool. I'm just
It's
curious.
working. So yeah, it's working, but we'll do like 2 matches a week with 2 different teams, but all the matches are played on one day of the week. So
Gotcha.
from like
Okay.
6 o'clock all the way to 9 o'clock, matches are going on like 5 minutes apart.
Gotcha.
It works well though.
Yeah. That's an interesting way to do it. That's why I'm asking, is because I'm interested to see how other people run events, to see whether there's anything that we should change or, steal some ideas.
Yeah.
Well, because I was thinking that as well. I was thinking of restricting like the times to play.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like wary of doing that because knowing how busy people are, but it's on both spectrums, right? Because we did that little feedback thing. So I was reading through some of the comments, and like some people were asking to be able to play more games per week.
Yeah.
But then for other people, it was perfect just having to play 3 games a week. So, and I know some other people like held off from doing it because they didn't want to commit even just time for 3 games a week. So it's like a balance between having it run more smoothly or having it more flexible, because the more restrictions that we have, the easier it's going to be on us, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about as many variables. But
I mean, I would love for more creators to be involved. Not that we didn't have creators involved this time, but we had a lot of people that just streamed just for the league, like just for those games. Whereas I'd love to have more people that like stream all the time. But I know that's exactly what you're saying is like some people just really don't have time. If we're even looking at our schedule, when we had the league games Wednesdays, we were doing comp help like Monday and Saturday usually. Friday we were doing Fight Club Friday. Tuesday was like our only day where we didn't have like some sort of scheduled content that was like expected to happen. And Thursdays we took off, and Sundays we're editing videos. So like it's
not enough time.
If anybody's like, if we're looking at other people similar to the way that we run things, which is probably fairly close, they've got so much other stuff going on that like it's hard to even find time.
Well, even like, because you were saying that there were that many scheduling conflicts, and there really weren't. We had one game that didn't happen in the last week. I think we had one that forfeited in like the 6th week or something, and then we had one match that happened a couple days after the deadline, and then we had one match that happened early. So
yeah, but I mean,
but it was never like, we never really had a problem with no shows or
only
like
people
super bad
scheduling their
scheduling.
games.
Probably.
I'm just kidding. But no,
we didn't make it
overall,
clear. Mosey
overall it's
slept
good.
through the first game of the tournament yesterday. There we go.
That's true.
Exposed.
I forgive you. You've been sick, and I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
That's what
say
subs
that
are for.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm gonna say that's the
why we
reason.
have subs. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know. Overall, things went really well.
Yeah.
We have had some people asking about how, like, when the next league is going to be, how to sign up for it, like how all that stuff's going to work. I think the way that we're going to do it is we're going to take at least a few weeks off. We do
Play some trials.
Yeah, we want to enjoy trials. We want to enjoy the new content. And I know other people are going to want to do that as well. I don't think anyone's going to want to jump into games first week of Season of Dawn.
It's going to be a new meta too.
New
People
meta,
are going to want to
like-
figure out where the dust settles. And
Yeah, I want to figure out rules
going on.
and some of the feedback stuff that we've got.
because I want to tailor some of the rules to
Yeah.
console and the new meta and feedback, right?
Yeah, exactly. But moving forward, like we have mentioned today, we do plan on doing PC and Xbox leagues, hopefully side by side. I think we can handle that. The first place you're going to be able to find signups is Patreon. Patreon has a early access, and then it's going to go to our personal Discord, and after that, it'll be on social media. So if
And
you
the
guys
Fight
are
Club
looking,
Friday Discord.
yeah, if you guys are looking to be involved, those are the three places that you can find it. You can find our Discord through our stream. So come on by. We actually had our first podcast to viewer
Yeah, shout out to
last
Handbone.
week, I think it was.
up,
Found
homie?
us through iTunes podcast, looking for gaming podcasts, and ended up in stream on Mixer from our podcast, and my mind was absolutely blown.
Yeah.
I did not expect that to happen. I expected mostly the other way, people to find the
Yeah, yeah.
podcast from stream, but
Oh,
Boom.
podcasts are blown up a little bit, I think. People want to listen to people actually talk and not just tweet
that's fair.
and have real discussion. And a lot of people commute. And listening to music every day is cool, but it starts to get old, especially when you're tired and you have an hour-long commute. I know
That's fair.
that's what happened to me, right? Like I actually, I commuted a bunch to work it back, and I was listening to like Sirius XM or whatever. And then I was noticing that when I was tired and a long commute, the music was like a lullaby, and I was like putting me to sleep. So then I was like, well, what can I do? Let's listen, maybe a talk show or something. So I put on BBC on Sirius, and I was like, oh, okay. And it's like something I can think about. You know what I mean? Like they give me news stories, like thoughts, whatever, and they're talking, and then I can think about that stuff, and my brain can eat. So
Tasty.
Yeah.
Do you have any podcasts that you listen to, Mosey?
So the first podcast I actually started like getting into was probably the Professor Broman's podcast. I
Yep.
forgot the
Yeah.
name now, but
Yep.
that was a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the only one I've like been very into beforehand. Of course, I've listened to y'all's.
It's fine if you haven't.
No, I have. But
Crucible
probably those are the
Radio.
only two I've, like, watched.
Crucible Radio was probably the first one that
Oh,
I
the first one I
really
listened to.
got into, and we used to
Shout out
listen to it when we would
Bones,
drive.
Swain, and Birds.
Yeah, we used to listen to it when we drive wherever, and they always had really good conversations, and it was Crucible oriented, and they talk about things we were super interested in Destiny 1, and definitely somewhat inspirations for doing our own.
Yeah. I just remember it was kind of cool. They did at the beginning of every episode, they did like a little comedy skit thing. That was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But they have since then changed. I think what's their podcast called now? I haven't listened to one yet. I want to say it's called What, but I could be wrong. It's they stopped doing Crucible Radio. Now they're doing just overall everything. It's like
Yeah, I heard about that. I'm a
Yeah.
fan of their Twitter.
Yes,
Are you looking it up?
I'm attempting to.
Just Bones is right there. Or is that the wrong?
No, it's not the right one. That's why I didn't click on it, babe.
Emergency.
We
don't have a Jamie looking stuff up for us.
I found Swain at Everyone podcast. I was gonna say at Everyone because it's like the only podcast I follow on Spotify apart from ours and Angry Icebergs. And I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to say it without confirming.
There you go, at Everyone. Why did I say what? That's
the What podcast.
Yeah, the What podcast.
I'm sure there is a What podcast somewhere.
Probably.
So, let's see here. I'm feeling very tired today. Like my brain's not working properly.
Our dog's big enough that he's very obnoxious, and
he's taking up the entirety of under my feet.
We made the mistake of allowing him to sleep on our bed. And
yes.
Now that's just where he wants to be at night. And
he
likes
not
to
even
be on you, touching you. So he'll lay on your legs, or he'll curl up against your legs. And what that does is he'll lean into it, so he'll slide the blanket off you, because he'll like pull it from the opposite side, and he wants to be in between us. So neither of us will have blanket, and then he'll be in between, or he'll like push you right up, and then. I woke up last night and Babe was literally like basically laying on the pillows up like by my shoulder, and I had no blanket either, and Bonsai had the whole bed. Like, this isn't gonna work, dog.
Yeah, it'd be fine if he like laid at the bottom of the bed, like over your feet.
Nah.
Like most dogs, like a normal dog, but no, like he's like all up in your business. Yeah. He's a sweetheart though. Like.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. Yeah. He's very cute, and he likes to come up and cuddle and put his head on your pillow and sleep with you. And like, how do you say no to that?
Yeah.
Eventually, when I'm insane from sleep deprivation, I'm sure I'll say no. But what are you looking forward to the most that's coming next season? I mean, Trials is obviously a big one, but.
I mean, honestly, I think Trials is the main thing. Like, that was where I started content creation. That's where I met so many, like, people that I've known for years.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just, there's so much potential with, like, what you can do with that game mode, like, content-wise, for sure. Like, we used to, I think y'all did this too, we used to, like, carry a bunch of people to Lighthouse, like, as much as we could every week. And then, like, after every week, we would have pictures with like everyone at the lighthouse, and then we would do a montage that like featured the pictures and then the montage of like the clips from the week.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I'm just looking forward to grinding Trials 100%.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I think I'm excited. I always get excited when there's something for the community to rally around, because people being hyped about Destiny like hypes me up about Destiny. So I get excited when people have things to look forward to. It means the directory is going to be booming. It means more people are going to be playing. We're going to have more people to play with. Everybody's going to have more people to play with. Yeah. The population in Crucible is going to be better. Like overall, it's just a better experience for everybody when people have something to look forward to.
It's interesting because Trials coming back means so much more than I think a lot of people realize. Yeah. It's not just a game mode that's added back in the game. It's not just the loot that's added back in the game. This is something that is... The biggest part of it is PvP, so it's replayable. And PvP has always been the most replayable aspect of video games in general. If it's just PvE content, if it's just a story mode, there's a finite end. There's a finite achievement. When you acquire all the things, where do you go from there? Whereas PvP is more replayable on like the everyday person scale, because you're going to be playing against different people every time. It's always going to be a new challenge. There's always room to grow and improve. And just that fact alone allows like a more extension of content for the game. And then, like you said, now that there's more people in the game in general means more people doing other activities. Because it's power enabled, now there's a reason to grind PvE to play PvP. So
well, and that's something that I feel like was really missing in Destiny 2. Like, I didn't have a reason as a PvP player to play any PvE, really.
No.
unless there was a gun I wanted.
I'll actually be more willing to play Iron Banner when Trials is around.
Yeah.
Because I'll get Pinnacles out of it.
Yep.
But
So I think that's a big change. I know we're like super excited to get back into Trials help and stuff as well. There's something, we've talked about this before, it's kind of selfish helping others sometimes, which I know sounds really strange, but we get satisfaction out of like helping other people. Like if we get someone to the lighthouse for the first time, like we feel great. And it's almost selfish, but you're also helping out others, so it's not, I don't know, it's this weird thing.
It's feeling neutral.
Yeah, I guess it's feeling neutral overall. I guess it's feeling neutral overall, but we really enjoy.
It's net positive for everyone. Really,
like we enjoy helping people, so like we're definitely looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting a chance to play with more of our content creator friends, and we used to do in Destiny 1, we did a thing called content creator cards on Fridays. So we'd pick one of our content creator friends and schedule them in, and we would talk a little bit with them before we started about like their channel and what they stream and what they do and where people can find them and stuff like that. And then we just play Trials and get to the lighthouse. And it was like,
honest, we kind of started it as an excuse to play with other content creators, because we would always say, hey, let's play Trials. Okay, well, we're all doing Trials help on
everybody's
the weekend.
doing Trials help.
We never end up playing with each other. So then we're like, fuck it. We're going to make it a forced thing. Hey, we're playing with you on this date. Okay.
Yeah. Like make it like an actual scheduled event. Right. The longer that we're in the content creation game, the more I realize how important it is to be organized and schedule things with people, because the reality is everybody's so busy. And I mean, like if somebody comes through and they're like, yo, we should play sometime. And we're like, yeah, like absolutely. Like, it's not like we're like, whatever, we're not going to play with them ever. It's just like, we're busy. They're busy. Like, if we don't get in DMs and say, hey, this day we're doing this, it's probably not going to happen. And it's not intentional. It's just like everybody's just so busy. So super excited about the content creator cards, and hopefully some secret runs, because those are fun. I still always remember we did. So for those of you that don't know, a secret run is where you go on to LFG. You don't mention that you're streaming, and then you just pick someone up and then get them to Lighthouse, hopefully. And then you can drop the bomb on them if you want. And I always remember one we did with this guy on Floating Garden, aka Floating Garbage. And all he used was Universal Remote. But when I say all he used, I mean he did not use another weapon. Yeah, no.
He used Shoulder Charge and Universal Remote and flew around the map running at people.
It was 100% Universal. That's it. And
it was easy. That run went really well because everyone was really thrown off by this Titan just running at you with Universal every single round.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, secret runs are cool. And then, just even hopefully being able just to like play with friends and help people improve and all that good stuff. We've had a lot of people over the last few months that are part of our stream community, like just be more confident in PvP. And I think part of that has been like doing comp help and getting them in the comp kind of environment with teammates that like don't yell at them. Right? And like positive reinforcement and giving them like a fun opportunity to do that. And then also like the league stuff too. Like, I feel really good that there are a lot of people that are jumping into comp themselves that never would have before. And, just kind of grinding for things and saying, hey, like, my goal by this time is to be able to do this. Like, I've had people in DM saying, like, by the end of this season, like, I want to do this. Yeah. And, like, that's really cool that people are making goals. And I'm not going to take credit for all of it because it's definitely, like, their choice to do those things. But I think
really cool
sometimes
to see.
people just need a little bit of a push.
Yep. Well, it's like it's a not a downhill slope because it's a positive thing, but once you get the ball rolling, I guess is the proper expression, like it will keep going, because once you show someone, it's kind of like empowering people with what's the word? I don't know. Anyways, and when people are kind of stuck and they feel like they can't help themselves, and then you just show them that, like, empower them a little bit and show them they can, and then they're going to keep doing that. Mm-hmm. So the same thing with improvement. If you show them, hey, you can improve, even if it's just by a little bit, but you're going to see it, then they'll kind of get hooked on it and be like, hey, how much further can I push this? Like, I'm getting better. How much better can I get than that?
Yeah.
So,
are there any games coming out this year that you're really excited about?
Ooh, I haven't been too up to date with the games coming out, but
That's fair.
let me think about that.
We're all gonna be so busy with trials, anyways, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny's gonna be the main thing.
It's
Honestly,
kinda
I'm waiting for the next Treyarch announcement because
Yep.
I'm a huge fan of zombies. I love zombies.
I was gonna mention that.
I was re-listening to your first podcast today, and y'all were mentioning how, like, you used to play zombies back in the day,
Yeah.
and, like, basically I never stopped playing. That's how, like, I made all my friends back in, like, the Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 days, like, in at school. Like, that's how we connected, and then we just kept playing until, like, even now. And Aaron's, like, my main duo in zombies, so I'm looking forward to the next Treyarch announcement. I need some more zombies to play.
That's bomb.
So, yeah.
We kind of fell off. I think one of the reasons is it's just can be very difficult to stream zombies because a lot of the time there's no pause button, and things just keep coming and coming and coming, and there's not really like a chance to like stop and look at chat or like deal with any of that part of content creation.
I guess we would have to. Because I think you can pause if you play local. So
if
it'd
we
have to be
played
like
local,
split screen.
yeah, we'd probably have to split screen it.
But then we'd be pausing all the time, guaranteed.
Yeah.
They added a pause
So I don't know.
button for normal games.
Did they for
That's one of my
Xbox
favorite
Live?
features. Yeah, for Black Ops 4.
Oh,
That's one
cool.
of my favorite
Oh, okay.
features, that the host can pause the game.
Okay, that's pretty bomb then, because that was one of our things. I remember actually trying to stream zombies and being like, man, I can't even look at chat. Like, there's zombies coming left, right, and center. I'm running. If I don't look where I'm going, I'm going to run into some lava or something in front of me on town.
The lava.
Yeah. But what's your favorite zombie map?
Ooh.
Of all time.
Well, my all-time favorite.
Of all time.
Of all time. If you were stuck in hell and you were forced to only play zombies over and over and over and over and over and over again and never stop, but you could pick the map, which map would it be?
Probably Horizon Drac, the Black Ops 3 map.
I don't think we
one's
played
that?
that one.
But it's the one with, like, bows and stuff. You might have seen, like, elemental bows as a Easter egg.
I feel like we were totally like in Destiny during that. Like, I don't think we were touching anything else. There was a very long period of time where all we did was play Destiny, and like every other game was just didn't exist. So
yeah, definitely from the Black Ops 1 era though, it'd be Moon. Moon's one of my favorites.
yeah, Moon was cool. We actually so I owned all the DLCs. And I think we played through almost every single one of the Black Ops 1 maps.
Almost everyone.
I feel like we didn't finish. It might have been Moon, actually. Is it like a space station?
Yep.
Yeah. So I feel like Moon was one of the ones we didn't actually like really finish. But
I think I've seen gameplay on that, though.
Shangri-La was tough.
Yeah, it was.
But that was a cool
rough.
one. I mean, Kino obviously was fairly simple, straightforward.
I thought Alcatraz was cool.
The Alcatraz one was neat, where you would become a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of that. I think that was kind of the first one where we started to really figure out like puzzles that were involved in the zombie games, like
What came
things you
first?
needed
Did
to
Barrier
do.
come before that?
Did what? Sorry.
The underground one? Buried?
I think Buried was
With your
after.
friend? Okay.
Buried was
So you give
after.
him candy.
Buried was cool though. I think that's one of. I mean, I don't know if I could pick one favorite, but I think Buried is one of my favorites. That one's really neat as well.
Oh, that Easter egg was so hard. I don't think I finished that one. Aaron has, but I don't think I
What's
have.
the Easter egg in it?
Oh, I mean, it's the first like super Easter egg. There's like 2 different pathways you can choose. You can go with like one set of Easter egg steps or another.
Okay.
I can't even tell you all the steps though. It's so long and complicated, but
What do you get? What do you get at the end?
an achievement. You don't really get
Achievement?
anything for completing it.
Cool.
That's like my favorite
Nice.
part about it. Like, oh, I did this. I get it like bragging rights or whatever. But that's about it. That's all you get.
Yeah, they went off with like the puzzles and what you can do in zombies compared to like what the beginning was.
What the beginning was, yeah. I mean, you kind of have to. I feel like you kind of have to adapt and
Yeah.
push it a little bit further because people would get bored eventually.
Well, that was the thing with Kino was at a certain point when you're literally just running around in circles, just training zombies and
We should go back and play Kino
or Town.
or Town and record it as a video.
Those are probably the two. That I
Haven't played
the
Town
most.
in like literally years. Like just went back to play zombies. Look, watch us fail.
Town is
Probably me.
legendary.
Yeah.
I love Town.
Town is just like we just go into the corner and sit
could-
by the box.
Yeah,
and just
you
like
could do
throw what is it? The hammer. Like throw a hammer at them all, and that was that.
Well, yeah, you would have what was it too? There's the hammer and the other LMG. Anyways, you just max those out.
Yeah.
Then you have max. But my favorite thing to do on 10, like it's easier solo, is to just run the circles and then use the DMR. I don't know.
Oh, the sniper?
You upgrade the sniper.
So you don't have a scope, right?
No. It pierces through and does like a shit ton of damage. So like you would run around circles, you just line the zombies up, and you turn around and just shoot like 100 of them with one bullet, and they all die.
Yeah.
But and then farm. I remember all the ones from there were in that transit one where you like. Did you ever play transit?
farm.
You go on the train. And,
Yeah, I did. Me and you played it a few times, but we didn't get very far. Isn't there like fog
yeah.
or something?
There's
Yeah.
fog. The areas that you go to.
Yeah. That sounds right. Now I want to play zombies. It's been a hot minute. But anyways, do you got anything else you want to talk about?
Oh.
Do you got anything you want to talk about?
Not in particular.
All right. Well,
We can wrap it up there.
we can
I
wrap
don't
it
know how
up.
long
Yeah.
it's been.
Where can people find you?
So, I got Twitter at Mosey Live, and then I got mixer.com/Mosey. The O is a 0. And that's about the 2 main platforms I'm on right now.
Do you any YouTube stuff?
I did. I'm planning on getting back into, but I haven't done anything since Guardian Con 2018. But
You know what? YouTube's something that we've been getting into this year. It's tough though. Like, I feel like it's just very tough to get into. I think you just have to be very consistent and expect it's going to take a very long time to kind of get anything rolling.
That reminds me to ask you, are you going to GCX this year? Have we already talked about that?
I would love to. I feel like after I built this PC, that's like a lot of.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If I have a source of money that I might be acquiring, and if I get this source of money, then I would be GCX. But it all depends on whether I get this money or not.
Well, hopefully,
Hopefully you do.
hopefully you do.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see you there. I'm super excited for GCX, and we yeah. Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
bomb.
good.
Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for listening, everyone.
If you want more of us, you can find everything BXP at babexpete.com, including links to all of our socials, YouTube, merch, and our discount codes for Into the AM clothing and Advanced GG energy drinks.
Our main focus is our live stream at mixer.com/babexpete, where we live stream video games and foster an amazing community. Peace.
Peace.